Time and Temp brought to you by Boniface Hires, warranty forever. Thank you.
Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
Vote for your all-time favorite president. Because we still have work to do.
It's up to you. You hold the key. If Florida goes blue, it's over. It's over.
Election Day in America. Here is a live look at the White House right now as all eyes are on crucial states like ours, which could decide the outcome of tonight's presidential race. This is an election day like no other for several reasons.
One of those being that it's happening during a pandemic. Voters are now deciding who will continue our country's coronavirus response. As of today, Florida has confirmed over 816,000 cases. The U.S. has had 9 million cases and 230,000 deaths. This is an important time in our history, and we have live team coverage all night long covering both local and national races and any issues that arise. But first, we have some breaking news.
Yeah, WESH News' Megan Milano joins us on the phone from Osceola County, where apparently one polling location was put on lockdown earlier today. Megan, what happened?
Hey there. Well, officials with the Osceola County Supervisor of Elections Office tells the polling location at Discovery Intermediate School in Poinciana was put on lockdown around 1:30 today. At first, they were telling voters who are assigned to that location that they'd have to go to the Supervisor of Elections Office to vote. However, the school and the Supervisor of Elections Office are roughly 45 minutes apart, so they came up with another plan and started sending voters to the gym and aquatic center in Poinciana instead. But those voters would have to vote a professional ballot.
All they told us was criminal activity in the area. I don't know what that meant, but we had voters locked in and voters locked out. About a mile away, there was another location. We had them; they could go there and vote provisional, and so it all worked out really well.
So we also gave the sheriff's office a call. They tell us they were conducting a search warrant in a home nearby for a domestic violence case, which likely triggered the lockdown at the polling location. They say the suspect they were looking for wasn't there, so they are still searching for them. As far as the polling location goes, it is back open, and the Supervisor of Elections office says, or the Supervisor of Elections rather, says it's running smoothly.
All right, Megan, thank you. And it's been a busy day in Orange County as well. WESH 2's Michelle Meredith joins us from Orlando, where one woman actually flew in to cast her vote. Michelle, what a story.
Well, when her vote-by-mail ballot did not show up in time, she hopped on a plane and flew to Orlando just so she could vote. Now, the 21-year-old goes to college in Washington, D.C., so that's where she lives now. But Tiffany Morena is from Orlando, registered to vote here, kept waiting and waiting for her mail-in ballot to come in. And when it did not yesterday, she booked a flight to Orlando, arrived last night, got in line to vote at 5:30 this morning at her polling place on Alafaya Trail, and needless to say, she did it.
I was nervous. I will tell you, I was very, very nervous. I was. Why? I don't know. It was just a very exciting experience. I needed to vote. I needed to make sure that my vote mattered. Florida's a swing state, and I wanted my vote to matter, and I felt that it did the second that I was able to fill out my ballot for the first time and be able to know that whatever outcomes happen later this week, I was able to take part in that.
Now, she flies back to D.C. tomorrow. And that was Tiffany's voting experience. Here in Orange County, there have been no reports of long lines or issues in Orange County. None were really expected because over 60% of the registered voters in Orange County voted before Election Day. Live in Orange County, Michelle Meredith, WESH 2 News.
There are several big races and amendments on the ballot in Orange County. By mid-morning, the county had broken its record for the overall voter turnout compared with 2016. WESH News' Amanda Dukes continues our team coverage from the Orange County Supervisor of Elections office. And so far, more than 4.7 million vote-by-mail ballots have been returned to election offices.
Add to that record early voting numbers, and a lot of you may be wondering if the state can handle counting most of them by tonight. WESH Political reporter Greg Fox is here with us now. So, Greg, do you expect that we will know the outcome of Florida tonight?
I do believe it's a strong possibility, and I do expect that the system in the end is going to work. The reason is because most of those ballots have been counted already, as Amanda just mentioned, and the results uploaded to the Division of Elections in Tallahassee. State law gives supervisors the right to begin processing mail ballots up to 22 days before an election. That means opening the envelopes after signatures on the outside are verified. The ballots are then run through machines which tabulate the results. Additionally, because of COVID-19, in June, the governor signed an executive order giving supervisors the right to begin processing the ballots even earlier. Last night, all supervisors had to provide 100% of early voting results and 90% of mail ballot results to the state elections office. Tonight, the early results will be pushed out immediately after the polls close at 7. Then every supervisor has until 7:30 to push out the 90% of the mail ballots that were sent to the state. Mail ballots received today will be pushed out later on tonight. So the bottom line here, most of the job of handling the mail ballot count is done before the polls close today. Only mail ballots received by 7 p.m. tonight will be counted in Florida. Postmarks don't count. Although if you were notified by the elections office that your mail ballot did not include a verified signature on the outside envelope, you do have time to fix that ballot until 5 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. You can go online to download what's called a cure affidavit and provide that information to the election supervisor in your county. Meredith?
All right, Greg, thanks so much. And here's a quick look at battleground states with the potential to decide the election. If the president does not win Florida, he's going to have a tough time capturing enough states to be reelected. President Trump won Pennsylvania by little more than 1% in 2016, and it could be another close call tonight. Ohio, Georgia, and Arizona, which typically go red, are seeing parts of their states leaning more blue this time. So there is a lot to watch as the night goes on. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden has spent Election Day in 2 different states. Before heading to Pennsylvania for a bit, Biden made one very important stop in Delaware. Biden went to church and then visited his son Beau Biden's gravesite. Biden's younger son died in 2015 from brain cancer. Dr. Jill Biden then headed down to Florida for some last-minute campaigning. She made stops today in St. Petersburg and Tampa, and she's now in Delaware with her husband to watch the election results come in.
The president was asked yesterday about his plans for Election Day after holding 5 rallies in one day.
Still ahead this hour, lots to watch for tonight in Seminole County. We are there asking voters what specific reasons and issues brought them to the polls.
And we zero in on another state to watch tonight in the race for our next president of the United States. Our Commitment 2020 coverage continues next. Tony?
And all eyes are now on Ada down across Central America. This one's expected to make the turn back into the northwestern Caribbean and then down the road, South Florida now in the cone as we get you towards the end of the weekend and early next week. We'll show you latest spaghetti models. You're watching WESH 2 News at 4.
Election night.
The nation's eyes are on Central Florida.
You made your decision. Now watch it unfold.
From the important local races to the showdown everyone wants to know about. Real-time results, expert analysis, and national perspective. Backed by the power of WESH 2 and NBC News.
Together to keep you informed.
Every step of the way.
We'll be here.
Commitment 2020 election coverage on WESH 2 tonight.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Rubenstein Law. Injured? Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Less than 3 hours ago before the polls closed here in Central Florida. By noon today, Florida had already surpassed the number of votes cast for the general election in 2016. Lines have been common sights around the state. This was the line to vote at a polling site in Palm Beach, the same area where First Lady Melania Trump voted this morning. Now, other cities are preparing for any possible violence as the results start coming in tonight. Some luxury stores in Miami have already boarded up just in case. Law enforcement in our area have said they do not anticipate any problems.
A D.C. federal judge has ordered U.S. Postal Service inspectors to sweep more than 24 mail processing facilities in an effort to ensure no mail-in ballots are left behind. South Florida is included in the order to seek out any lingering mail-in ballots and have them sent out immediately. Centers in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, and Wisconsin were also included in that order.
Earlier, we talked about the other key states that could decide the final outcome of this election.
Matt Pritchard is in Washington and explains what's at stake in Ohio.
Why Ohio is a race to watch. 18 electoral votes are up for grabs here, and it's generally hard to predict which candidate will claim them by night's end. In the past 5 elections, voters have sided with Republicans 3 times and Democrats twice. In 2016, though, it was a clear victory for President Trump, who won the state by more than 8 percentage points. But in 2012, Barack Obama took Ohio by 3 percentage points on the heels of an $80 billion bailout for the U.S. auto industry. That's just one of many issues that create the state's toss-up nature. In more rural areas, you have agriculture and farming interests, whereas in cities and university towns, there's more liberal-leaning voters. You also see an emphasis placed on manufacturing throughout Ohio, a crucial piece to President Trump winning the state 4 years ago. In your Commitment 2020 coverage, I'm Matt Pritchard reporting.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine was asked earlier today about the possible outcome tonight. The Republican said that he believes it will be close.
Early numbers that will come back will be those early votes. Those will be the absentee. One would expect that Biden at that point would be ahead, and then that the rest of the night, frankly, he was president trying to catch Biden. And, you know, he either will or he won't. I think he will. I think it's going to be a very, very close race, and I think the president squeaks it out.
Governor DeWine said that mail ballots and early votes will start to be counted after 7:30 tonight.
And weather-wise, you see some people had on sweatshirts in line, and I think that was probably a good thing to have those handy. Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi told us the cooler temperatures were coming, and here they are, and how refreshing.
But it was great this morning. We were 55 here in town. We were in the 40s north and west. Beautiful turnaround. We're in the low 70s right now. Wind is out of the east-northeast at 13 miles an hour. And when you take a look at the water vapor channel, look how dry that air is now over the peninsulas. And that's one of the things that we're going to be watching long term. There's going to be several more chapters to this story on Ada, so keep checking back in. Bottom line, if there are going to be any impacts here in central Florida, it'll be Sunday night, Monday, and Tuesday, depending upon the forward speed. A lot to work out, though, over the next couple days. Guys, back to you.
Okay, Tony, thank you. Coronavirus cases are still surging all over the world. After the break, the new measure being taken by one British city, which is driving the UK's infection rate up. And almost 2 months after a devastating wildfire, hear how a church and photographer are coming together to help families make new memories. You're watching WESH 2 News at 4.
Breaking news alerts, live newscasts, and interactive radar. Download the WESH 2 News app today. Just search WESH 2.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Advent Health.
Turning to coronavirus news right now, everyone who lives in Liverpool in the UK will be tested for the virus, even those with no symptoms. Testing will start this Friday. This is the first UK citywide testing effort. Liverpool was the first English region to have some of the highest infection rates. 23 people on an Air India flight tested positive for COVID-19. The flight took off from New Delhi last Friday and then landed in Wuhan, China. Chinese health officials say most of those cases are asymptomatic. Those people are all now in quarantine. 4 people were taken to a hospital, though, for immediate treatment.
A California church and photo studio are helping replace some memories lost in the recent wildfires.
We were told the next morning within the hour of evacuating it was all gone.
Tammy Galvin was one of many people who lost their homes to the CZU lightning fires. They lost many meaningful items, including pictures from her childhood and of her children. San Francisco Zion Church and Highlight Studios started reaching out to people like Tammy, offering free family photo shoots.
Some of the photo albums that they lost within the fires, we thought that that's not something that they can replace. So the small thing that we can do to give back is at least try to provide a glimpse of hope.
Those are pictures that I can start saving again that I don't have anymore. My youngest daughter that's here, she's a junior in high school. So those are pictures that we'll be able to start up again and have those for the future.
The CZU lighting fires burned in Northern California from August to September. The fires covered over 86,000 acres and destroyed almost 9,000 buildings. Some states are seeing a surge in gun sales, but does it have anything to do with whoever is elected as our next president? Mark?
The leader of a federal agency focused full-time on elections gives the National Investigative Unit a one-on-one interview about the latest election security threats, including robocalls, as America votes. That's coming up.
WESH 2 traffic updates are driven by Toyota of Orlando and Toyota of Claremont.
WESH 2 News continues.
We are back now with a live look at the long voting lines in Volusia County on this election day. Check this out. Chopper 2 is over a polling site in De Leon Springs. Less than 3 hours to go until the polls in our area close. Big lines there. Now, both presidential candidates reached out to their supporters earlier today on social media. Part of a tweet from Democratic nominee Joe Biden says, "You placed your trust in me to help lead this country alongside Barack Obama. Today I'm asking for your trust once again, this time in Kamala and me."
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump also tweeted a big thank you to his supporters. He said in part, "Your hopes are my hopes, your dreams are my dreams, and your future is what I'm fighting for every single day." Our team coverage continues now with a wider look at the biggest race of all.
Camilla Burnell takes a look at the chances of victory for both candidates tonight.
Voting in Volusia County has generally been smooth today, aside from two technical issues. WESH 2's Claire Metz joins us live from the Supervisor of Elections office in DeLand. And Claire, the bigger issue today, aggressive campaigners.
Yeah, that's right, Summer. Campaigners coming within that 150-foot zone, chasing after voters. Supervisor Lisa Lewis got involved in several incidents and took quick action. And at this hour, as we mentioned at the beginning of this half hour, she's looking into problems and long lines at that polling place in De Leon Springs.
All right, Claire, thank you. And let's get a closer look now at some of the key races to watch in our area. Our political expert, Greg Fox, joins us in studio right now. So, Greg, what will we be tracking tonight as the returns start coming in?
Well, we'll start with the most important local state Senate race in the region, and that's the race in District 9. This includes all of Seminole County and a portion of southwest Volusia County. This is an open seat. The major party candidates are Republican Jason Broder and Democrat Patricia Sigmund. They joined me for a debate. Declining to join us was independent Justine Iannotti. Broder is president of the Seminole County Chamber of Commerce and previously served in the State House. Sigmund is an employment law attorney making her first run for public office. Because Republicans have a slim advantage in the Senate, well over $6 million has been poured into this race, considered one of the three most important statewide Senate races in Florida this year. Another key race is for State House District 44. This includes a portion of Orange County in the Winter Garden, Ocoee, and Windermere area, and it also includes Disney and Universal. The incumbent is Democrat Geraldine Thompson, seeking her second term in this district. She's up against Republican Bruno Portigliatti. The two candidates are joined me for a debate, and Thompson previously served in the state Senate and in another state House seat. Portigliatti is the president of Florida Christian University and an attorney who moved to Central Florida from Brazil in 1999. Thompson won the seat in a close race 2 years ago. We're also going to be tracking two House races in Seminole County, which is turning more and more purple. House 28, which is held by Republican David Smith. He's being challenged by Democrat Pasha Baker and independent Michael Riccio. And House 29, which is currently in the hands of Republican Scott Plakin. His challengers are Democrat Tracy Kagan and independent Juan Rodriguez. Plenty of money is being spent in these races because right now, Republicans in Seminole have a tiny advantage among registered voters, about 1,600 over Democrats, and there are more than 100,000 independent and minor party voters in the county. Meredith?
All right, Greg, thanks so much. Lots to cover tonight. Well, Election Day around the country. Check out this time lapse of voters casting their ballots in Bangor, Maine. Plenty of room for social distancing at this precinct. And here's a look at Wisconsin voters waiting in line outside of their polling place in Milwaukee. Milwaukee started processing their mail-in ballots this morning once the polls opened. City officials say that the process will likely go until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And this is what a drive-through voting site looks like. This site is in Houston. It is the only one of its kind. A federal judge yesterday denied a bid by Republicans to block drive-through voting in Texas.
WESH 2 will be your home for election results. Track them as they come in on WESH.com and tune in starting at 7 p.m. for special election night coverage right here on WESH 2 News.
They say stop and smell the roses, but one California neighborhood wants people to stop and appreciate their neighbors, even the four-legged ones. Hear how the simple concept has grown from the last election until now.
When weather turns extreme, turn to Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi. Clear, experienced, and certified most accurate. Central Florida's severe weather expert, Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi, and WESH 2 First Alert Weather.
Twitch, remember that time you socially distance from your body hair?
That's Ellen. The moments when we can reach out and lift someone up.
I regret nothing.
Tomorrow at 3 on WESH 2.
There's been a lot of anxiety from many people leading up to Election Day, and it may take people a bit to be able to relax again.
Yeah, Melanie Wingo shows us a spot in California where people are actually getting a break from election chaos with some help from neighborhood dogs. Take a look.
Ready? Come here.
Nice little story there. They all seem to find the little place, a location, a little retreat for their pets and for themselves.
Absolutely.
Cute.
And if you need a retreat locally, just step outside, find a body of water to look at, because it's just beautiful. It feels good outside. Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi joins us right now. Tony, what's up?
Very nice transition there, Summer. I tell you what, a few clouds out there right now, but a bit of a breeze. Gorgeous day, 73 degrees over towards the Kennedy Space Center. Again, we have 2 launches now on Wednesday and Thursday consecutively here over towards the Kennedy Space Center. We'll watch the clouds. Pretty quiet out there, though, for the time being. As you can see, visible satellites showing just a few layers of clouds along the coast. The IR doing the same thing. Official track, as you saw, as it is a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm somewhere near Cuba, the Florida Straits late in the evening on Sunday. So there's the first hint of some of that moisture late Sunday. Sunday night, Monday, and Tuesday could get interesting. I am going to show you some of the longer range computer models coming up at 5 and 6. The Euro and the GFS combined. I'll show you the differences there. Rain chances, though, going up by early next week. You are watching WESH 2 News at 4.
WESH 2 First Alert Weather is brought to you by the Pendas Law Firm.
WESH News at 5 is straight ahead.
Stuart Moore joins us now with what's coming up in the next hour.
Ladies, locked down on Election Day. A local precinct had to shut the doors with voters inside and some outside after a threat. We'll explain what happened that had little to do with the polling location and how soon things return to normal. And tracking the turnout, records are set for early voting this election cycle. But what about today? And what issues have popped up to prevent people from smoothly voting? We have those answers. Plus, it's probably the most purple county in Central Florida. Seminole has seen record early voting and lots of competitive races. We find out the plan to get your results fast and accurate. Plus, we're tracking the tropics. All next at 5.
Closed captioning is sponsored by the law offices of Attorney Dan Newland.
The 2 for $6 classic